Hello, everyone, and welcome to our live stream today on the magic and miracles of Bali, the navel of the world. It is my pleasure to host this beautiful conversation with my travel partner, really the instigator and architect of this trip, Kenji Ballard, my dear friend and colleague. We're here together. And thank you all for being here, for showing up. I do love it, by the way, when you're all on video. It's great to see you. I know some people can't do video or that isn't possible on your device. It's just nice for us to be in the room together. It's a little bit more like a real conversation if we're sitting across the table from each other. So thank you for being here. Thank you for being here on the replay. My name is Christine, and Ken and I will be hosting you today. Our idea for this is, and as I was saying before we got started on our recording, we have people here who are going on our journey this year. We're taking a journey this upcoming April and May. We have people who have been on journeys before, some of them multiple journeys with Ken and gone to Bali. We have people who are thinking about it, and we also have people who maybe would desire to go sometime or are simply interested in being part of a community that loves to play in the space of magic and miracles, that loves to open up into what's possible, to have conversations that allow you to feel enlivened and uplifted and expanded. So we're here for all of that. Whichever part of that you are, whichever part speaks to you, wherever you are, you're welcome. We're glad you're here. And Ken, I would like to just right now just say an official welcome to you, let you say hello and introduce yourself to everybody.
Thank you. It's morning where I am. I'm in Chiang Mai, Thailand, and I'm very happy to be with everybody. Christine and I have traveled together to Bali and other places many times. I made my way to Bali August 8th, 1976. And I was leaving a life that was not meant to be mine. I was on my way to law school in Florida and going towards a life that I live and that lives me to this day. My homes are Bali and they're Thailand. And I've been leading and co-leading sacred journeys since 1990 and had a few journeys before that, before I decided this was to be my life's work. So I welcome you all to this call. And I'm very happy that some of you are already joining us and that some of you are considering it. And I'm very happy, Christine, to be returning to Bali with you.
That makes two of us. Ken and I go, we lead full on when we're there. We will
Yes.
show up for you 100%. And we are like you. We are there receiving. We are there expanding. We are there playing in the energies and the magic of Bali. How could you not being there and going through this multitude of sacred ceremonies that we share? Ken, I would love for you, because this is something that I don't even know if you talk about very often, but if I know it'll be fine, to share how it is that you came to work with this family of extraordinary Balinese healers. Every single one of them considers you part of their family. You consider them your family. You have these amazing partnerships with all of them that you work with, and for the most part, with the exception maybe of one of them, they are off grid in terms of access by Westerners. They are not eat, pray, love. You can't find these people, and you have a very special and potent relationship with them. How did that come to be?
I was in the center of Bali with a dear friend of mine whose name is Pak Agung Prana, and he's not with us anymore. And I was already leading journeys to Bali. Uh, I think almost everybody here knows Ratunyang, the ancient ancestor, through Christine. And it goes all the way back to 1976 when I first had an encounter. I was 21 years old. I'd come to Bali and I thought I was on a journey that I was going to be on a few months and then go back to America to go to law school. And I got what they call Bali belly in 1976, which meant that you got the wrong kind of food or something like that. And I was introduced by the massage therapist, which was an ancient Balinese man, to his wife. And his wife channeled and became Ratunyang, the ancient ancestor, the ancient divine feminine. And she placed her hands on me and worked on my belly. And some of it was not even physical touch. And I saw this beautiful young woman become an ancient ancestor, turn into an ancient grandmother, and I was awestruck. And that began my healing work in Bali because I was healed. And I didn't go to a doctor and I didn't take all the medicines that everybody else was taking. And she, 2 days in a row, did healing work with me and handed me young coconut milk to drink. And I actually became friends with that family in a whole new way. And so when they would go to the temple in 1976, if you can imagine, Bali was a very different place then. And I would go with them, and Ratunyang would go pop, 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 and pat her right side and have me sit right by her. And I learned, you know that one, right? So, wow.
She Petunia likes to keep Ken near, let's just say. That's true.
And all these years later, she's still the different iterations of Ratunyang I've been to and been with and been family with, including one of the people that those of you who are coming will meet. Uh, she's always been with me on the inner and the outer. And so that began a whole different journey in my life. And that was the first step I took into knowing I wasn't going to come back to America to live for the rest of my life. And indeed, this is year 48. And I say thank you, Ratun Young, for that. There was just such magic in that. And then that family started taking me to these temple ceremonies and taking me into the forest and taking me on all of these different journeys they went on, including collecting the herbs and medicines that Ratunya would use in her potions. And I was just, I was awestruck. I've always been somebody who's been a fan of magic and the mystery. Um, my mother, she supported it. And my earliest encounter with that was Merlin. I read early in my life. I learned to read early. And Merlin and all of the adventures around Merlin were my first taste of that. And I bring up Merlin now because we have some male Merlins in Bali. But I feel like Merlin was the way shower for me that leads me to being able to talk to you this day, Christine, and all of you.
That's wild. Yeah, I was just really tuning in to the magic of Merlin the other day. And my experience and what I've experienced with Ken through many of these healers and also in my own learning of being an energy channel, when these different energies come through, their healing, their light, their love, their power is able to find a vehicle to move through. And that's so much of what happens in Bali. And that's really what I've been initiated into. Ken does the same thing. And so it's an incredibly potent variety of energy that you get to encounter, all in this case within the Balinese pantheon, their cosmology, which is a mix of Buddhism, Hinduism, and animism, and their own Balinese flavor. And Ken has, it started with the one that he spoke of, and Ratunyang has been in that experience for him. And there's we always take people to you take us to 5 to potentially even 6 different really
Yes,
potent healers that are each different in their own way, and they each bring through different things. And this journey and what we experience together, and this is part of what he and I love about it, is I know it's what I love, and I know it's part of why you love bringing people and keep going back yourself, is that we're just immersed in sacred ceremony. We're immersed in the magic of the energies that are healing, activating, expanding, and we're immersed in it all day long. Except for the time that we do, as you would call, sacred shopping, or getting your
yes,
massages. And so you're immersed in sacred ceremony, and then you get to go and do sacred shopping and be in one of the most interesting places in terms of Balinese art and vibe just of the town in Ubud. That's one of the areas that we're in quite a bit. So, I mean, it's just a trip like no other. Um, so Ken, I'm interested right now. I'm feeling this evoking what it's like being there, and and I'm gonna give an example. You just never know what's going to be happening. I'm gonna give a couple of examples. One is a woman who came on our trip, and she was interested in being the friend of somebody else who was going on the trip. You know, she just came to go with her friend. And we're in the middle of one of our sacred ceremonies, and it was a melokot, which is sacred bathing, and in this case with flowers and chanting and prayers and lots of water, as Ken is fond of saying, you will get wet. More than once, you will get wet. There's this beautiful water of life feature that happens over and over and over again, the healing waters. And you know, she just her knees went down, and she actually went out. I mean, and the people in Bali know this. They have spotters ready to catch people. She had no idea. I remember her saying, I didn't even know what a chakra was when I came on this trip. She was not a, you know, a spiritually inclined person or an energy person or a consciousness person or a sacred ceremony person. And she was one of the deepest receivers on this trip because it was for her. And it just opened her up in all these new ways. Um, and then the same has been true, I know, for you, Ken, and for me too. Everybody who goes up levels in the most amazing ways. And after I'd had a very powerful initiation into the energies of Ratunyang, the archetypal divine feminine healer in Bali, I took a walk in the countryside. It was the next morning, and I remember I said to Ken, I said, Ken, I don't know what's going on. It's like my body feels so unusual today. My hips are different. My walk is different. It has this, and I was describing it, and he says, oh, I know exactly what that is. Would you like me to tell you? And I said, of course. And he said, well, Ratunyang was like hula traditions in Hawaii, the dancing with the hips and the movement. He said, that's her in your body. She's you know, she's joining with you. I mean, it's very physical, and that's what you're experiencing. And I tell that story because this is what you have in Ken, that I've never seen anything like it in on the planet. An interpreter of energetic experience to give words to what's happening for you, not only to totally have your back through it. And I mean that physically and metaphorically and energetically, because he does. He will frequently be standing right behind you with his hand on your back and holding an energetic space, a place of support and activation that's just beyond. But he will help you interpret what you're experiencing. I mean, I'll do that as well. I'm guiding you, but for the Balinese cosmology, for their culture, for their sacred experience, there is no one that you could travel to this country with that would gift you with what this man will do. And I know that from personally receiving and from watching the work he does with others. I know, Elizabeth, I'm sure that's probably been true for you. She's here nodding. Yeah, she's been to Bali. Gail went to Bali. Yeah. And I'm trying to think, is there anybody else here? Maybe Renee, but she's not talking. Yeah, anything you want to add to that, Ken?
It's my life.
Mhm.
It's my soul path. And I have been trained and gone through the fires of transformation, excuse me, literally, with all of these healers. And my initiation into healing came from a Balinese mystic medium first, the two people in the family, the Ratunyang, and also Lingsir, the ancient ancestor who was her husband, that Lingsir, going back to 76. And they just took on working with me energetically from the beginning. And by 1980, that led me to a Western teacher named Dr. William Brew Joy. And I spent years with this Western teacher as well. I'd fly back from Bali and Thailand because they are my co-homes and be with Dr. Brew Joy. And he wrote a book around the transformational journey. And he really, really initiated me into the deeper levels of working with body energies with other people in catastrophic illness, in transition. And the combination, I'm saying that because the combination of East and West is what's alive and well in me.
Mhm.
And the East was initiated in Bali and Thailand, and especially in Bali. And the West is where I grew up. So that whole combination of things that continues to expand in me
Mhm.
is very alive and well today. And it's only 3 days ago. I had a group that just left here, and we flew the high priestess of Bali up from Bali to be with us for 4 days. And that's somebody who you will all meet because she's relocating in Bali now. Their place of healing is just about complete. And to fly up the high priestess of Bali, it's one of the five, and as you said, five or six, because there's her uncle is the one we've been with, as she's been here with her husband in Bangkok as he works. And it was time for her daughter to go to first grade in January. And so they chose to move fully back to Bali, and he'll travel back and forth. And it was amazing to see her again and to be with her, because she's just moving back fully into being who she is. And of course, Christine, you and I have met so many times with her uncle grandfather, her uncle. And what an amazing healer he is. So there's something about these unbroken lineages, that lead up to this high priestess who had a life-death experience. She was on her way to college and dropped. And when she woke up, she was speaking languages, and she woke up in the whatever that room is called in the hospital for people who are already not alive anymore. Her heart quit beating.
Yeah, she actually physically died. Yes, she
She
was.
physically died.
Yeah, they put her in the place where you're no longer alive, not in the ICU. Yeah,
No, the place you're no longer alive. I don't know the name of that. But
the
so,
morgue.
so for me,
Morgue.
the morgue, thank you, the morgue. Yeah, so for me, the magic and mystery of Bali is so alive. It lives in my heart. It lives in every cell, plane, and body. And what I would say my soul's work is to be the bridge and the gatekeeper, and to bring other people into this amazing community of people that are my Balinese family, in a way in which my deepest hope is your life will never be the same again. And indeed, I've seen it again and again and again. And it's not only deepened our already beautiful friendship, Christine, and
Mhm.
partnership and relationship, but even when we're not in Bali in our personal conversations, Bali's also one of the ways that we both expand. When I'm talking to you from Thailand to Hawaii,
Mhm.
Bali's one of the ways in which we expand. And all of that touches my heart so deeply. And the fact that
Mhm.
Sam and I joke, Sampot's my partner who you'll meet if you're coming to Bali. And I always joke I didn't get the Ferrari, because my dreams in my younger days was having a red Ferrari with purple leather seats. And what I did get, though, was this. And I just feel like I'm so on track. Here
Mhm.
I am. And this is how many years? 76, I moved away from America. August 8th, 1976, I landed in Bali. And August 10th of 1976, I was in my first sacred bathing ceremony,
Mhm.
at the
Amazing.
thousand-year-old sacred bathing place.
Yes, which we will also be going to, of course. I'm
Yes.
so moved. I'm so moved, Ken, for you to speak about your relationship with what in Bali is known, and your actually, well, it's your embodiment, it's your relationship, it's your gatekeeper, bridge builder relationship, your
Yes.
intimate being with the Naga, which is which is a dragon, and there are
Yeah.
different kinds of Nagas, and you are so intimately familiar with this energy and what it does and can bring for people, what its magic is. If you were to invoke that now to share with this group, what and what might be asking to come through you in terms of information and energy around the Naga, I would love to receive and hear that.
In all of Southeast Asia, and especially in Bali and Thailand, the Nagas are the protectors, the guardians, and I know them as the beloveds of humanity.
Mhm.
And they come up from the very center of the earth, and on the inner and the outer planes. They're the guardians of humanity. In both Thailand and many of the places in Bali, the Nagas are right there. And you pass through the gate where the Nagas are to come up into the inner sanctum of the temples. For indeed, the Nagas are part and parcel of the inner sanctum of the temple. And the Nagas, they are dragon-like, and I always say they're brothers and sisters from another mother with the dragons. They all are very much part of the same soul family. And for me, the Nagas are pure love. I experience them as pure love. I experience them as holding love with and for humanity. And they're also very much a part of the healing presence.
Mhm.
So the nagas are, it's possible to evoke and to invoke the nagas for your own personal healing.
Mhm.
And there's not a day when I'm on this planet that the nagas are not in my life. And that's especially so in Bali.
Mhm. Yeah, thank you. There's not been very many times that they've come through me, but one of them was recently when we were on a group call and you opened up the invitation to expand beyond our wildest imaginings and to receive beyond anything we could imagine, and in came the naga. Yeah, it was, yeah, really intense and beautiful, and yeah, so thank you. Yeah, thank you so much. Is there anything else about Bali? I'll just open it this way before maybe we want to hear if there's something those who've been on the journey might want to share about their experience. I think that could be lovely as well, and very potent, actually, illuminating for people who are wondering, well, what's it like for the people who come on the journey? What else might you want to share about what Bali is for you or offers the people who come, your knowing of it on that both equal, as you said, inner and outer plane, the inner world that is our beautiful cosmic spiritual inside our divine heart world,
Yes.
and then the outer plane being, our physical reality, and we walk them together and they're all happening at once, and some people are more aware of that inner world, and you're one of those that's very, very aware. And so, Bali as the inner and outer reality for you, what might you say? Share with us about that.
Way back to 1976, one of the first things I heard, and it's something that's used to this day, is that Bali is known as the navel of the world. And I think about the navel and the umbilicus. And one of the things I'd say is that I feel, and I know that many, 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 including you, feel like that umbilicus of Bali, that's the navel of the world, connects us, and it connects us through all time, space, and dimensions. It's a place where the magic and mystery is alive and well. And I feel like that all one has to do is step into the arena that
Mhm.
Bali offers. And by the very act of volitionally stepping into the arena, we are empowered by all that Bali is on the inner and the outer planes, by the nagas, by the healing presence, compassion, and that peace that passeth understanding. It's alive and well in Bali. And what I say is all you have to do is show up and be lovingly present, no matter what it looks like on the inner or the outer for you in this moment. And transformation takes place.
It's beautiful. Thank you. Really, I feel that
Thank
so deeply. And I know that before we opened up the room today, you and I were talking about how so many are going through deep transitions and changes now, endings and
you.
beginnings, dissolution of things that were, and even a quiet space before there's the birth of what's next, and coming into greater coherence, clarity, alignment in our lives. And I'm noticing as we're here in the Northern Hemisphere at that dark time of year, and of course we'll be entering into the light, and when we come to the time of Bali, we're very much heading into that, the growth time, in the Northern
Absolutely.
Hemisphere, again, the spring, the bursting forth, the that new life phase. It feels like the timing is just perfect. I love that we're
Yes.
meeting now, having this conversation during this time of everything in many ways going very quiet, very dark, very inward, very still. Yeah, and in preparation for, we don't even know what is next, not
We
yet.
don't.
Yeah. It's
It's
beautiful, but
exciting,
it's
isn't it?
coming.
Very
Yeah,
exciting.
yeah, it is. It's beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.
And yeah, and if gosh, Renee or Elizabeth or Gail, I don't think I'm missing anybody else who's been on a journey before. We would love to hear what, if there's anything you feel moved to share. Everybody who goes on this trip is so special. It draws the most amazing souls and people. So it's a gift to hear from them just because they're them. And of course, on the topic of Bali, it makes it all the more amazing for me. So yeah. Um, Renee or Elizabeth, I'm gonna just, let's see if anybody who's ready, or Gail, any of you there. Elizabeth, you look ready.
There I am. I am unmuted and ready.
There you go.
I was thinking, knowing and anticipating our gathering, I was thinking about these clear lessons our beloved healers would give us one-to-one exchanges and presence. And then there was also the group vibrational response as well, which was really very perfect and beautiful. I was going, I know that some of the sharings I'm still contemplating and still probably haven't done the full work of getting my own interior answer. um, and so there is a definite vibrational lingering. I think of each of the teachers and have a great smile on my face. And it was a very exceptional group we had. We're all exceptional, but it happened to be we had this little pod of a group, and the bonding experience and the journey was, I don't know, it's hard to express. Each teacher, each healer, teacher slash healer slash beloved heart to heart presence family member. We were loved. We were just purely loved and accepted. I know these astute perceptions that these teachers have, these healers, they could see our shit. They didn't dump on us and say, what are you doing? It was reminders, general reminders to attune with presence at a regular interval during the day, to start the morning with a sense of connection to source as a love, healing, and abundance, and to laugh at who we are and fully feel that acceptance. So it was so much fun. It was so much fun getting wet together. Being close together, so eating together, sharing together, traveling in the bus together. So real family. Yeah, I'm still digesting it. So yeah.
Thank you, Elizabeth. That's
You're
so
welcome.
beautiful. And you brought up such an amazing piece, which is that we talk a lot about the healing and the ceremony, but they are teachers, and they have, and I'm glad you brought that forward. They have such an amazing way of giving you specifically the piece, like maybe for your own practice, for your own journey. They'll say, this will be really helpful for you to blah 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 blah, and they see that, they see it without you saying anything to them. Their powers of perception are extraordinary, and they give you guidance, and that's another amazing piece. Yeah, it's beautiful. Thank you. Yeah. Wow. Renee, are you unmutable? Of course, you're immutable. No, that's not true.
I think so. I
Oh,
think
you
I might
are.
be.
Look at you go.
Look
Hey,
at me
Renee.
go. Hello, Ken.
Yeah, Renee, you're going with us this journey, and you were with us 2 years ago. And I know you've traveled with Renee or with Ken. I don't know. I think so many. How many times have you been to Bali?
I don't know, 7, 8,
Mhm.
5,
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely hard to explain. It is life-changing for sure,
Yeah.
and amazing. And if I ever wanted to pass on the one thing, it would be, like Ken always says, open and receive. I will say probably the first 2 times, your logical mind comes into play and you're like, what are they doing? How are they doing it? Is this really happening? Is, all of that. And then you sort of miss out on the magic of it. So it took me a while to let that go, but it is unbelievable. That's all I can say, really. It is unbelievable.
Thank you.
So that's why I'm going again. And
Mhm.
all of the healers, they are just pure love and light. I just love them all.
Mhm.
And Ken too.
And I love you. We made many travels together, and I'm so happy you're returning.
Me too. I can't miss that.
Me neither.
That's beautiful. Thank you.
You're welcome. I will mute myself again.
You're amazing. Thank you. I'm so glad we get to play again. Gail, what about you? Anything you'd like to share?
Yeah, it is hard to explain, but it's in one word, it's magical. And Christine is magical, and Ken is magical. All the healers are just magical. And when you talked about it in immersion, that's really what it is. It's like I've never had a class or anything. You're living it like 24/7. You're just immersed in it and living it. And I just, for me, I felt like I shed lifetimes upon lifetimes of heaviness that I was carrying around. I felt like my heart opened for the first time in a long time. It was just purely magical.
That's what it feels like to me. That's so perfect.
When you were just talking about it, the water ceremonies, I could just feel it again.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that.
And just being in the culture was just amazing to me. It's such a different type of culture where everything is love, everything is religion, everything is holy.
Yes.
Even by the end of the trip, even like the dirty streets and stuff to me seemed holy. Everything was just very sacred.
Yeah.
And then you realize how we don't live our life that way in the States.
We can.
Mhm.
The Balinese teachers and healers have been a huge part of me learning to live the sacred in every moment. And Ken's right there with them and guiding me in that, of living every precious moment as the sacred gift that it is. And it's true that culture has they support them in that. Every Balinese person's home, it has an altar. They're built that way. They have a sacred altar. There are daily offerings of flowers and incense at their home altar, and that is part of what they do. It's just there in the culture. And so we don't have that support, and yet how amazing and precious to choose that and live that and actually make that our reality. Yeah, they guide me in that. They absolutely guide me in that. And every time that I come back, I find I am deeper in that reality than I was before. Yeah, it's really good for me. Yeah. And I mean, I'm pretty tuned in that way. And there's always more to go, there's a lot more to go, always. Yeah. So thank you for that. Ken, what about right now, before I open up to Q&A, for anybody who might have questions about the trip or anything at all, it could be the most etheric, sort of unformed kind of question, or it can be something very practical about laundry. It could be any of it. All questions are welcome. But anything else that you would like to say here before we move into the Q&A portion?
For me, as I'm, excuse me, as I'm hearing people speak, I'm so touched by all of what Bali is. Excuse me just a moment. Thank you. I've just come off another 14-day journey and just coming back into the world. It's the actual, every step that I take on the ground when I'm in Bali, I'm immersed in the healing presence. I'm immersed in all that Bali has to offer. I'm immersed in being with the sacred waters. And that is intentional. And I learned that from walking the steps on the pathless path that are Bali. So one of the things I like to say for people is just to be showing up, as I said earlier, and be lovingly present and remember every moment that you're on the sacred ground. And every time, a friend of mine said this, in fact, the one who becomes Ratunyang, the ancient healer, and she's a female in embodiment. And she said to me one time, every step you take on the ground that is Bali, you are supported by the nagas. And because I'm so connected to the nagas and being with her deepened a connection I already had there, however that unfolds for each person, every step that I take on the ground in the place that is called the navel of the world is opening, it's transformational, it's healing, because the healing presence is so vibrational and alive. And I, for one, am so fortunate and feel so lucky that I followed the direction of my soul's path, which was not to go to law school, which is not to be the full-time rock and roll photographer, which were the two parts of my path that were happening. And that Bali called me into her presence. And 48 years later, I'm still here in Bali in Thailand. And I feel such gratitude for that. Bali's the island of gratitude as well. Thank you.
Suksama.
Awali.
Beautiful. Thank you for that. Yeah. Thank you. So I would love, if any of you have questions, feel free to just simply unmute, or comments or anything, whatever. This is the open conversation time where you can raise your hand, all the different ways we can do here on Zoom calls. Anything that you might be interested to know. I know that if you've received our invite, it's pretty detailed and it's always subject to change. There's a certain amount of it that's actually not designated, because there's a flow that happens. But the general flow and outline is indeed what we experience together. And there's a lot that we don't tell you what's going to happen, and that's intentional. Because when we say, here's what you'll experience, or here's what this will be like, you form an expectation and you form an idea. And then that will naturally limit some other possibilities that don't perhaps fit into that box. So we leave lots of that open so that you can go in a sense, very like with beginner mind, which is that one of the enlightened aspects of the Buddha's mind is beginner mind, which is that you are open without preconception of what something is. Very, very powerful. So of course we'll answer questions, and we love to hold the space of the mystery for your greatest unfolding. That's why we do that. We don't want to tell you what you're going to experience, because we want your masterful being to lead you to your greatest experience in that space of openness and curiosity and wonder. So there's that. And with that said, what questions might you have, any, if any at all? Yeah.
Okay, can you hear us? Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can. Perfect, Dana. Thank you.
Oh, yay. Well, then, you want to say your name?
Andrew, Dana's husband. Hi.
Andrew, nice to meet you.
Okay, hi.
Do you have any questions, Dana and Andrew?
How many people are signed up, and what do you anticipate?
Sure. Yeah, that's often a question. As you know, we have a set price for the trip, and then there are discounts offered as more people join. Right now, we have 6 deposits in, so we have 6 confirmed. That's where we are. Anybody who joins beyond that puts us. So we're already in. It's 4 to 5, yes, and then it's 6 to 8. So we're in that 6 to 8 range right now, and that's a good spot to be. And we never know. Ken and I watch people play musical chairs, people who were absolutely sure they were going to go, and then something happens, people who drop out of the sky that we had no idea were even thinking about it, and they'll come after, say, our deposit deadline was technically yesterday, which it still is. And yes, if you are interested in joining us on this trip, there's room. Our final payments are due in February. So we do find these couple of months that we're in now are a little bit of dancing time. We never really know, but we are confirmed with 6 right now, which is I think that might have been the size with our last group. It was right around that. Yeah, it was just so much fun. All sizes are perfect. So in terms of how many people are experiencing the magic, yeah, we trust that, but that's where we are. Yeah, what else? Anything else on that one?
Hi, guys. Oh, gosh. Ken, Christine, it's been years. So I'm so excited. I have had so many people come up to me, and Bali is my favorite place. And this time is the time that works for me. And I know it's divinely so. So my question is, sounds like we'll have a lot to process and just be with. And this is especially for you, Ken. Would you recommend us to have a little time before and after? Just the first is time change, and the second is afterwards, just processing before we come back to our real world.
I do recommend that. And we end on the ocean. And I do that for myself. And Christina and I do that. And that's our private time together in terms of being on the ocean. But almost every single group that we have, people choose to stay on at the ocean. And it's free time, it's integration time. It's a beautiful retreat on the ocean. I've known the people there since 1990. And I suggest that afterwards, definitely. And before, so you step in more deeply, because most of you are coming a half a world away. For me, it's a 4-hour flight from Thailand. But for most of you, a half a world away, and you know, your time clock has an extra day or an extra 2 days to adjust. I suggest that. And I already know 1 or 2 of the people who are coming, they stay independently coming in because they know a place they'd like to stay, but we also can help you arrange staying on the property that we're on if you come in early. And I think either way, that's fine, but to stay on the property and then just to step into the group after you've already been there for 2 days, and it is beautiful. Waterfalls and leading down to a river. We're in the Bali jungle where we are, but it's also very, very comfortable. So yes, I suggest to come in early and to stay on a couple of days for integration.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for that.
Yes.
And I can't wait to be in the Naga energy. That just excites me tremendously. So
Me too.
yeah, I could feel him earlier.
It's Dana again. I have a follow-up question to that, if I could, Ken. I don't have the itinerary in front of me, but when you say to stay on at the ocean, the few days at the end of the journey that are at the ocean, are there healers, part of the family at that location, or like that you've already sort of curated a sort of relaxation integration time for us?
No, that I don't curate relaxation and integration during that time.
Well,
We're
I
bringing,
mean, like, are there?
no,
Are there
I know, but to answer directly, no, we're bringing some of the healers all the way from the other side of the island to be with us at the ocean.
Oh,
That's
okay.
that's what I'm curating during the journey. There's a day that's a full free day as well, you know, to just be on the property. But the journey continues on the ocean. And our final ceremony is at an extraordinary temple abundance. That's also a temple of the Nagas on the ocean.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, my experience has been that the pace relaxes slightly. There aren't as many ceremonies in a day, and that's intentional. Ken puts this together in the most amazing way that we try to really, through what he has created, offer you the most possible in the very best way for your body, nervous system, and world. And so that includes in the Ubud area multiple ceremonies a day, as well as little bits of free time. And Ubud is amazing in terms of just, you know, whether you're going shopping or you're looking around. I mean, it's just a beautiful place. When we get to in terms of activity, more tourist type of things. And when we get to the ocean, it's really just that place and the water. And that resort is amazing, but it's not like there's a town you're going to go do something or look around. It's different. So that sort of drops you in very spaciously and deeply. I love at least one day on the front end, possibly two, for all the reasons Ken mentioned. And the same at the end. 1 to 2 is great. In particular at the Ocean Resort, they have this amazing spa, and it's incredibly affordable. And then you can really, I mean, like ridiculously affordable. And so I do things every day. I go and get a massage every day. It's just like that. And some of them are amazing. You can do your reflexology, you can do your facial, but you can also do a lure massage that has yogurt and all different things, and your body just feels so tended, and they're so skilled and they're so loving, and it's so affordable. So you can have that kind of the what would you say, classic resort experience of being pampered very affordably there. Yeah. So that's
And
also
Dana, one more thing. Oh, sorry, Christine.
go ahead.
One more thing I'd like to add is that at least on 2 of those days, Christine and I both will be down on the ocean with our crystal singing bowls doing a Surya ceremony, which is a sunrise ceremony on the ocean, as we all sit on the ocean and watch the beautiful sunrise come right out of the ocean. And so that's optional, but we're there every day doing that. But I know for 2 days we'll be doing that. So there's so much to offer, and the food is good. And I love that place on the ocean. It's been a sanctuary for me since 1990.
I agree. I had the most delicious food there. I remember, Christine, your giggles. I was like several feet away from the spa, and I heard this lovely laughter. It was Christine giggling away and being so in the connections with the people there and the water, the Sea of Bali itself. She is the warmth of coming into a bathtub, which is, you know, I'm from Milwaukee originally, where the water of Lake Michigan was freezing. So it was it's extraordinary to be baptized in those waters, and you wouldn't want to leave the premise. Although we went to some beautiful puja in the Hindu temple. Very, very beautiful experiences. So we're not only planted in this beautiful, beautiful area. And when we say a recreational kind of spa place, it's not. It doesn't feel that way at all. You know, we have these beautiful bungalows, and those that aren't with our group, they blend the energy of children on occasion, and just it blends into this most yummy experience. So I want to add that.
Mm-hmm.
Thank
It's
you.
all there. Thank you. Anyone else? Ken, anything else you'd like to share? This is beautiful.
Just that I'm really, really happy to be doing this again with you and however many of our tribe show up. And it's going to be a very full and at the same time relaxing experience. You know, when we're at our retreat in Ubud, outside of Ubud, it's not in Ubud, it's outside. It is a retreat and a sanctuary as well. You can take a walk down to the river. You're right in the middle of the jungle. The monkeys show up to drink in the swimming pool. So it's really the authentic Bali for me. Having first stepped foot in Bali in 1976, I feel very fortunate that I can still say that. And indeed, from beginning to end, I feel like we're in sanctuary.
Me too. Yeah, thank you for that. And of course, Ken and I also meet with and work with the group. We have an opening ceremony that's just the two of us. Those of you that have seen us together know we do have a profound, playful, and very potent synergy as soul brother and sister that we are. And we bring that for you, and we each bring our own gifts and capacity to share energy and wisdom. And so that's in there as well. And it's a gift to be able to be of service in this way and to receive just as equally as we serve. Yeah.
I
Love the
add one thing
service.
to that about, oh, go ahead.
I
Go
was just
ahead.
gonna say, love the service and serve the love. Yeah, go ahead.
My partner Sampo, on the days where it's possible, because he's fully with me and fully with us in this group, like at the beach, you're going to find a Thai green curry on the table, as well as all of the Balinese food. So he adds different dishes, and he's an extraordinary chef. He's from Cambodia, but he is a chef of Thai food. So that for me is another highlight. And I know for many of you who joined us, it is as well. So the nourishment on the inner and the outer continues with Sampo's cuisine.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, anyone else? Any other final questions?
I want to
Yeah.
ask a question on behalf of Carrie. She put it in the
Oh,
chat
thank
because
you.
she's
I
having
hadn't
trouble.
seen.
She asked, can you speak to the Sea of Bali and our opportunities to swim and snorkel there?
Thank you.
Oh, there you go. And there you are. Thank you so much,
Carrie,
Carrie.
you're unmuted. We can hear you.
You can hear me. Okay. Yeah, that question. That's my question.
Awesome. Ken, do you want to speak to that?
Yeah, I can speak to that. So there's swimming and snorkeling on the beach in front of where we're actually staying, but also for those to choose to, on the free day, it's optional and you set it up yourself, but I can help facilitate that. Many people go 40 minutes away from where we're staying to an island called Menjangan. And you can go over to Menjangan Island and it's got extraordinary snorkeling. And those who love what you were just speaking to, I suggest that you pull together a group of who is going to be your very close friends by the time we get to the ocean and say, hey, let's go out to Menjangan for a day. And the people at this hotel are my very close friends, so they will help you do that. But remember Menjangan, or say, hey, Ken, what was that island? Because it's really stunning. I'm a scuba diver. If anybody else is a scuba diver, bring your scuba diving card. But because there are also opportunities right out front within a 15 or 20-minute ride of our resort to go scuba diving as well.
Perfect. That was beautiful. Thank you, Carrie. Sounds like you're thinking about coming along.
Eventually, for sure.
Wonderful.
Hi.
Chris. Yeah, go
Uh-huh.
right ahead. Go right
Can
ahead.
you can you
Mhm.
see me?
No, but I can hear you.
Okay, we don't have it figured out yet.
No
But
worries.
I just am so glad to get to the place of this spiritual healing that I will be able to experience with the people that are going. And thank you for sharing. It just makes me more excited.
Mhm.
My husband's coming also, so that'll be very healing too in its own way.
Mhm.
And Christine, I'm so glad I was at your Hawaiian retreat, and I just love that. And it was very important to me transitioning to a more spiritual life. And I want to thank you for that. So, of course, I'm very excited to see what will happen in Bali. So, thank you.
Oh, Christy, I'm so excited that you and Carl will be with us. And it was so fun when you were here in Hawaii. That was when you were just getting to know him. And I just learned that actually recently. And now they're both coming on this trip together. And
Yeah.
yeah, one thing I know about you, your brain may be catching up with your spirituality, but your heart is already there and always has been. And you and I have recognized this about each other from the very beginning.
Oh, absolutely.
And so it's so beautiful that you're bringing these threads together in the way that you are, and I just know it's going to rock your world in the best possible way. I can't wait.
No, thank you, Christine.
Oh, thank you. Love you both.
I love you too.
Thank you for inviting us. And I just want to say
Yes.
I'm new to the group. You guys don't know me from whoever, but I'm just soaking it in and really enjoying hearing about you guys. You'll once you meet me, you will know me in no time. So that's just the way I go. So it'll all be I'm sure very wonderful to get to know each other and have these experiences together and see where it goes. I can't.
Absolutely.
We're
So
very
You're so welcome to join us.
Mhm.
nice to meet you all this way.
Nice to meet you as well.
Mhm.
Yeah, sorry about our pictures not being on the Zoom. That's probably me. But anyway, technically challenged a little sometimes. So
No worries. Thank you again. Yeah, looking forward to it.
mhm.
I
Mm.
know.
Yeah,
Oh, I
April,
get
go
to
right
be.
ahead. Oh, sorry about that, Christy. Do you have something else?
Oh, I was just thinking I get to be with you again. I'm
Likewise.
very happy about that.
Me too.
I'm not even sure what I can really say, but I wanted to share just um like I've never been, well, I have been pregnant, but I had my babies left, but it almost feels like what mums describe, because I've been describing about me coming to Bali, that I've been pregnant with Bali. I just got pregnant, and it almost feels like this fluttering in my stomach and what I would imagine of the baby kicking and saying, yes, I'm here. Yes, 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 this is happening. And yes, here I am.
No.
And I have no idea, like, how could you ever anticipate what a birth would be like? So you just say, yes, yes, here I am. And
Yes.
I open, and I've started, you don't know this, Ken, but in a shamanic journey with Christine that I did, I was
Yes.
told to chant open. So for like the whole shamanic journey, open, open. And now, and then she says to me, well, do you know what the chant, is in Bali? No, what's, and it's open, open, open to receive. So now I put it into a different chant, and I have chanted open to receive with my Molly beads all the way through, because yeah, I don't know what I'm saying yes to. I just know I need to go, and I am birthing something. Just, I know I need to do that, and I've said yes. I feel called, and I'm heeding the call, and there I am. So I'm
That's
so
so
excited.
very
No.
good. And we welcome you.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Absolutely. It's so perfect, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Mm. Beautiful. Thank you all for joining us, for being here to come and listen, to participate, to receive, and to also share the beautiful heart and energy that is you. Every single one of you is helping create this call together in the most extraordinary and gifting way. So thank you for that. And
Mm.
please do, if you feel and have any questions, feel free to reach out to me, to Ken. We're happy to connect with you about that. And if there's any friends of yours that you feel might be interested in this replay, feel free. I'll be sending that out. I think I'll just be sending it to my email list, as well as putting it on our social media posts that I put before on Facebook. So if you're not on the email list, feel free to hop on there. It's christinelaria.com, and that way you'll stay informed about different things. We do have 2 extraordinary circles of light this month coming up, one tomorrow and one later. A number of people here have been on both the Love Circle and the Source Light Healing Circle, and they're very profound opportunities for up-leveling, expanding, healing, connecting, clearing, all of it. So you can find all of that on my site as well. I'm always honored to be with everyone in that space. And please do reach out if you have questions. The trip is already amazing. It's happening. The people going, as you've seen from who you've met here, are extraordinary, beautiful. It's just, it's a trip like no other. So, and thank you, Ken, again, for, first of all, for your tremendous embodied presence on this planet, and for saying yes to bringing your gifts through the way that you do, to shepherd and midwife all of us through to the on this amazing journey, and to connect us to these extraordinary souls and beings and people in the magical world of Bali that we would otherwise not be able to meet. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Good to be with you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Namaste.
Nice to meet you.
Bye.
Nice to meet you too.
I can't
Many
wait.
blessings.
Won't
So
be
good to
long.
be together.